replicate almost like in a dream kind of sequence? What's it like to do those?
It's not really, I don't know about you, but it's not really anything I've had to do in my career before. Visit the netherworld to have a witch explain what's happening in the real world. They're fun, and as the series progresses, there's a lot more grit. You start to uncover more about Katrina and Crane outside of the netherworld, in how and why they met, and their lives together in 17 something, and how that then affects what's happening now with the impending apocalypse.
I'm assuming.
Sorry, is there any chance that we'll get to see the origins of Ichabod and Katrina, like how they met, their courtship?
Oh, there's definitely going to be a lot more of that, the backstory, and you're just going to get to know why Katrina is so activist today, and the reason why, which is quite interesting twist. And I'm looking forward for people to get to know our history a little bit more.
Yeah.
You'll understand the scenes where we instead of they'll have more weight. It'll be good to
Because not only is it important to see why it's so important for, it's important to know why the relationship and marriage is such that Ichabod can risk forgetting the apocalypse in order to save his wife. But then, more than that, Katrina's one of the most powerful characters in it. She's a witch. She's the only one on the side of the good who can actually fight these demons properly. So it's fun seeing Katia get stronger.
I'm assuming that eventually the veil will go away and Katrina and Ichabod will be reunited, but how will that balance with the bromance between Abby and Ichabod?
These wild assumptions. Not only about what's happening there, but also assuming that there's something with Abby.
There's something about Abby, yes.
I'm looking forward to those scenes as much as you are.
I think so much is why I've connected with the show is the humor in it. And I don't know if you're aware that there's a hashtag on Twitter that we call it Sassy Hollow. Because Ichabod is so sassy. And how much did that come about in the writing or just your discovery of the performance and your chemistry with Nicole? Like, where is the humor?
I did when I read the script.
Yeah. Well, it blew me away, just the quips and the fish out of water kind of thing. It's wonderful.
It's my natural affinity with Roger Moore. But yeah, the writers are acutely aware that they can't write something as audacious as this without supporting it with something fun.
Winking at itself, too.
Exactly. It also allows us to be very serious about the judgment, netherworld, apocalypse. The characters can be very focused and serious on that, but the show as a whole gets the joke and can give you a little wink at the end about earnestness.
The Yolanda scene was one of the funniest things on TV last week, so just
Thank you
props
very
to
much.
that.
It seems like it's a difficult, well, it's definitely a difficult show to put in any sort of genre box, so I'm wondering, when you were working on it and when you were telling your family and your friends about it, how did you describe Sleepy Hollow?
Oh gosh, I don't know. It has a bit of everything.
I remember talking to my mum when we were shooting the pilot, and she asked what we were doing that day, and I was telling her about a man with no head chasing me around with an axe, and explaining the show and the ideas for the season as a whole, and she just was baffled. So do you think maybe you should... Do you want to do maybe some more Shakespeare or something? Because it's weird, and Katia, I'm sure, would agree that for such a long time before anyone saw it, any attempts to describe it, I had to finish with, but it's really good. Because I hadn't worked out how to describe it. Even only 3 months ago when we were in San Diego, I mean, just look back at the tapes of us trying to get people to watch it. But it's really good.
It speaks for itself. It does.
Thank you very much.
So the original Ichabod is a bit of a coward, and your character is absolutely perfect. He has a photographic memory. He's a crack shot. He's chivalrous. Do you feel?
Silver tongue.
Do you feel he's too perfect or too chivalrous, and will we see a little bit more weakness in him?
I think first of all he's very good at hiding his fear. I think everything is definitely there. It's just his pride won't let him show it. And the second part of your question, that's definitely where Katrina comes in. The stuff with Katrina, you get to explore a different side of Crane.
Yes, because he was so greedy when he first met Katrina in the original story. Go on. Sorry.
Sorry, will we see more of Ichabod reacting to the 21st century? First, we saw him sort of having a historical dissonance, but will Ichabod ever have an iPhone?
New pair of jeans.
Then, yes, we definitely keep exploring that. It's too fun not to. It's also a very good way for very slight, unimposing social commentary. Like the stuff in the episode a few weeks ago about with the donut holes and the fury about tax, which it's quite true that this country was formed because a 2% tax was outrageous, and there are various other, to do with the state of the world and pollution, and just there's lots of stuff that we can do with that, as well as it being very funny. And I think also a bit of a saving grace to the show. Like I said, without the humour, it would probably fall flat on its tits.
Can you talk about the special effects versus the practical effects? Because I'm wondering, from an actor's perspective, what do you see on the set? Who are you acting against? Some of these apparitions are some of the scariest we've seen on network TV. And also just kind of a follow-up to that question about modern versus the past. How do you still have the same cadence? Do you method actor? Because you have to have that old world, dialect and just even the way you carry yourself.
There's certainly a different Ichabod that you see in the present and in the past, which is fun to explore, really fun to explore. And it's nice knowing that in the present I'm with Nicole Bahari, and in the past I'm with Katia and our scenes are very, very different. But neither is more full. That's still both things to explore. I'm not method. I have one.
What do you see when you're acting against what we see on TV, the post-production?
We have an excellent makeup guy called Corey Castellano, who is responsible for the bird witch that you saw in the first episode, the Sandman, brilliant, and all of the monsters that you see coming up are thanks to him. He also brushes my beard. So we're responding to things like that.
Sounds like some practical effects.
Yeah.
Looking at all of the recurring characters, somebody's got to not be what they seem. Somebody's got to be wearing a mask. Do you have any thoughts on that? Do you know that somebody's a little duplicitous? And if you don't, who do you think it is?
Stop.
Would you like to? She knows something even I don't. It's fun second guessing everything because, even in the pilot, you had John Cho's character who you think is a good guy and then instantly he's a bad guy, then dies and in the next episode he's back. You can't really trust anything.
Yeah, but just because you work for the bad side doesn't mean that you're a bad person. There could be reasons for why you're bad.
She's defending the
It's like
dad.
Jack
I
Bauer
don't
in
know.
24. It goes back and forth, and you think it's bad, but you're not because he's working undercover. And then
Very true.
very true. So
So there could be the gray area.
it's a very gray area.
Describe some of the physicality of happening, like sword play and 21st century, even the scene in the bathroom where you're using all the stuff that we all use, but I mean, you've had to really have quite a spectrum of things to do in the first season.
Yeah, they're determined to kill me. That's also part of the fun. It's I think all of us would agree that there are very few jobs like this that give you so much as actors to play around with. So that's just an extra little treat to be able to run around with swords and do some of the practical. Yeah.
Sorry, you guys, I have to wrap now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So much.